She messaged me saying she was at her grandmother's funeral and asked for space. Hours later, I watched a Coachella livestream and spotted her laughing with her ex. I responded with a calm, "My condolences," then sent the link to her parents, who were sitting across from her dead grandma. Her homecoming wasn't what she expected. Original post. I, 29 male, had been with Kelsey, 27, for 3 years. We got engaged 6 months ago on a beach in San Diego during sunset. It was perfect, or so I thought. She cried happy tears, posted about it immediately, showed off the ring to everyone we knew. I genuinely believed we were building something real together. The text came on a Friday morning while I was at work. "Babe, I have horrible news. My grandma passed away last night. I'm driving to Arizona right now for the funeral. Please don't call me. I need space to process this with my family. I'll be back Monday. I love you." My heart sank. Kelsey was close with her grandmother, or at least she talked about her a lot. I texted back immediately with condolences, asked if she needed anything, if I should drive out there to be with her. She responded that the family wanted to keep it small and intimate, just close relatives, and she'd rather grieve privately. It hurt that she didn't want me there, but I understood. Grief is weird and personal, so I gave her space like she asked. That afternoon, I was sitting on my couch feeling pretty bummed out, scrolling through my phone mindlessly. One of my buddies, Travis, had sent me a link to a Coachella livestream with the message, "Dude, check out this crowd. Looks insane." I clicked it just to distract myself. The camera was panning across thousands of people dancing, having the time of their lives. And then I saw her, Kelsey, my fiancée, who was supposedly at a funeral in Arizona. She was front row at the main stage, wearing this bright neon outfit I'd never seen before, dancing and laughing. And she wasn't alone. Standing right next to her, with his arm around her waist, was Derek, her ex-boyfriend from college. I sat there staring at my phone screen, completely frozen. My brain couldn't process what I was seeing. There had to be some mistake. Maybe it was someone who looked like her. But no. As the camera zoomed in slightly, I could see her face clearly. That was definitely Kelsey. And that was definitely Derek. The camera lingered on them for maybe 10 more seconds before panning away. In those 10 seconds, I watched her throw her head back laughing at something he said, watched her lean into him, watched her look happier than I'd seen her in months. My hands were shaking. I took screenshots, multiple screenshots, made sure I had clear evidence of what I was seeing. Then I just sat there for probably 20 minutes, staring at those images, feeling this cold numbness spreading through my chest. Part of me wanted to call her immediately and scream. Part of me wanted to drive to Coachella right then and confront her. But another part of me, the part that was already calculating and planning, told me to wait. I texted her back, "My condolences. Take all the time you need." She replied with a sad face emoji and, "Thank you, baby. This is so hard." The audacity, the absolute audacity of that response made my blood boil. I went to my laptop and started digging. Kelsey's Instagram was private at the moment, but Derek's wasn't. I scrolled through his stories, and there it was, multiple videos and photos from Coachella. Several included Kelsey. One video showed them singing along to a song together. Another showed them at some VIP afterparty. The timestamp showed they'd been posted throughout the day. So this wasn't some last-minute thing. She'd planned this. She'd lied to me deliberately, probably days in advance, so she could go to a music festival with her ex-boyfriend. Here's the thing about Kelsey's family. They're very traditional, very religious, very big on honesty and integrity. Her parents, Linda and George, had always been kind to me. They'd welcomed me into their family, talked about how excited they were for the wedding, how I was exactly the kind of man they'd hoped their daughter would end up with. And I happened to know that Linda had mentioned just last week that she and George were taking Kelsey's grandma, Ruth, out for lunch on Friday, because Ruth was very much alive. I checked my watch. It was 2 p.m., lunchtime. I pulled up Linda's contact info. We'd exchanged numbers when Kelsey and I first started getting serious, for emergency purposes and family event planning. I'd never actually used it for anything important before. I sent her a text. "Hi Linda, hope you're having a nice lunch with Ruth today. Quick question, did you know Kelsey is at Coachella right now instead of at a funeral? Because she told me Ruth passed away and she was in Arizona. Here's the proof." I attached the screenshots from the live stream and the links to Derek's Instagram stories. Then I waited. My phone rang within 5 minutes. It was Linda. "Is this real?" Her voice was tight, controlled. but I could hear the fury underneath. Yes, ma'am. I just found out an hour ago myself. She texted me this morning saying she was at Ruth's funeral and needed space. Then I saw her on a live stream from Coachella with her ex-boyfriend. There was a long pause. I could hear muffled voices in the background, probably George asking what was going on. Where are you right now? Linda asked. At my apartment. Stay there. We need to talk to you. They showed up at my place 45 minutes later. Both of them looked like they'd aged 10 years in the past hour. Linda's eyes were red like she'd been crying. George looked like he wanted to punch something. We sat down and I showed them everything. Every screenshot, every video, every lie Kelsey had told. They listened in complete silence. She told us she was going to a work conference in San Francisco, Linda said quietly. A mandatory training thing for her job. Kelsey worked in marketing for a tech startup. Apparently, she'd constructed this whole elaborate web of lies. Told me one thing, told them another, made sure our stories wouldn't overlap. How long has she been talking to Derek again? George asked. I don't know. I didn't even know they were in contact. She told me years ago that they'd had a messy breakup and didn't speak anymore. We talked for over an hour. They asked me questions about our relationship, whether I'd noticed anything off recently. Honestly, I hadn't. Or maybe I had and just ignored it. She'd been on her phone more, staying up late texting sometimes, but she always said it was work stuff. I trusted her. What are you going to do? Linda asked me. I'm done. I'm not marrying someone who can lie to my face like this. Linda nodded. Good. You deserve better than what our daughter is giving you. Then George said something that surprised me. We raised her better than this. This isn't how you treat people, especially not someone who loves you. When she gets back, she's going to face consequences. What kind of consequences? She's been living rent-free in a condo we own downtown, George explained. That ends immediately, and we were going to pay for a significant portion of the wedding. That money is now going back into our retirement fund. I hadn't asked them to do any of that, but I wasn't going to argue. They were clearly hurt and angry, maybe even more than I was. We came up with a plan together. It felt good, having them on my side. They weren't going to defend their daughter's behavior just because she was their daughter. They actually cared about doing the right thing. Sunday night, Kelsey texted me. On my way home. Can't wait to see you. This weekend was so emotionally draining. I replied, I bet. She didn't catch the sarcasm, just sent back a heart emoji. Monday afternoon, I packed up everything she'd left at my apartment. Clothes, toiletries, books, that stupid collection of decorative pillows she insisted we needed. I boxed it all up neatly and loaded it into my car. Then I drove to the condo. Her condo. Well, her parents' condo that she lived in. I used the key she'd given me to let myself in. I put all her stuff from my place right inside the door. Then I took my key off my keyring and left it on the kitchen counter next to a brief note. We're done. Don't contact me. I took back the few things of mine she had there. A hoodie, some books, my good headphones. Then I left. According to the plan, Linda and George were already on their way over. They'd timed it so they'd arrive right around when Kelsey was supposed to get home from Arizona. I went back to my apartment and waited. My phone started blowing up around 6 p.m. First came a text from Kelsey. Why is my stuff from your place here? What's going on? I didn't respond. Then, babe, answer me. What's happening? Why are my parents here? Still didn't respond. Then my phone rang. I declined the call. She called again. Declined again. Then came a voice message. I could hear her crying in it, saying something about how she could explain, how I didn't understand, how her parents were overreacting. I deleted it without listening to the whole thing. Travis called me that evening. Dude, Derek just posted a story and then deleted it really fast, but I screenshot it. You need to see this. He sent me an image. It was a text conversation between Derek and Kelsey. Derek had written, Your fiancé found out? How? And Kelsey had responded, I don't know, but my life is falling apart. My parents are furious. They're kicking me out. He won't answer my calls. This is a nightmare. Derek's response. Maybe you shouldn't have lied to everyone? I told you this was a bad idea. So Derek knew. Derek knew she was lying to me and came with her anyway. What a piece of work, both of them. Over the next few days, I heard through mutual friends what happened. Kelsey's parents had indeed kicked her out of the condo. They gave her 2 weeks to find a new place and move her stuff out. They also told her they were done financially supporting her lifestyle. No more car insurance payments. No more phone bill. No more emergency credit card. She was on her own. The wedding, obviously was off. I'd already contacted the venue we'd booked and explained the situation. Thankfully, we'd only put down a small deposit, and most of it was refundable. Kelsey tried everything to get me to talk to her. She showed up at my work once, but security escorted her out when I told them I didn't want to see her. She sent emails, texts, even tried to get her friends to reach out to me on her behalf. I blocked her on everything. About 2 weeks after everything imploded, I got a long email from her. I almost deleted it without reading, but curiosity got the better of me. She admitted to everything. Said she and Derek had reconnected a few months ago through Instagram. That it started innocently, but developed into something more. She claimed they hadn't actually done anything physical, that Coachella was going to be their test, to see if the old spark was still there. She said she'd panicked when he invited her, knew I wouldn't approve, so she made up the funeral story. She apologized profusely. Said she knew she'd destroyed the best thing in her life, that she was stupid and selfish and didn't deserve forgiveness, but hoped someday I could at least understand she'd never meant to hurt me this badly. The thing is, I don't think she meant to hurt me at all. I think she just didn't think about me at all when she made her choices. And that somehow hurts worse. I didn't respond to the email. Last I heard, she'd moved in with a roommate on the other side of town, was struggling to pay rent on just her salary, and Derek had stopped talking to her after all the drama. Guess this spark wasn't that strong after all when it came with real-world consequences. Her parents check in on me occasionally. Linda texted last week asking how I was doing. Said they were sorry their daughter turned out to be such a disappointment. I told them I was doing okay, which was mostly true. I'm not going to lie and say I'm completely over it. 3 years and an engagement don't just disappear overnight. Some days I'm angry, some days I'm sad, some days I just feel relieved I found out before we actually got married. But I'm moving forward. I started going to the gym more, picked up rock climbing as a hobby, been spending more time with friends I'd kind of neglected during the relationship. And every time I start to feel bad about how everything went down, I remind myself of something. I didn't ruin Kelsey's life. She did that herself when she chose to lie, to cheat, to disrespect our relationship and her family. I just made sure the truth came out. Sometimes the best revenge isn't some elaborate scheme. Sometimes it's just making sure people face the natural consequences of their own actions. Kelsey gambled that she could have both worlds, the stable relationship with me and the exciting fling with Derek. She lost that bet spectacularly. And me? I got my dignity back, my self-respect, and a future that isn't built on lies. I'd say I came out ahead.